using the phone as a coaster, we don't know. People could begin to do these codes as gimmicks. So that's why, if you're going to jump in and you haven't done it yet, think about what you're going to give the public. Because if they scan the code and they see that it's not doing what they expected, or it's not giving them useful information, they might just go, you know, I'm not going to scan these anymore. Best advantage is that you ask yourself that question, wouldn't it be cool if there was something that could, well, this is one of those things. So, here you go. Hi, my name is Tom. This code equals, hi, my name is Tom. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a URL. It can just be a message. It can be anything. The QR code will store the content. Same thing with this. This is a contact information form. I filled in the contact information form. I click generate code. Boom. It makes the code. I don't have to know anything. I just have to know who I am. And this is another thing you might want to keep in mind is when you're going to make a code, always think about shortening the URL first. And I'll talk about it in a minute, but the point is the code is generated from the content you input. Less content means cleaner code. More content, more tiny dots. So if you're going to reproduce this, photocopy or whatever, you want large dots as opposed to little tiny ones. Is there a name for the dots in the QR code? I don't know. Are they just pixels? I have no idea. You know, I should have really brushed up on what these things are. So again, here's the URL. I made up, if it's over 20 characters, I have no idea. I don't know if there's a rule for this, but I just figured over 20 characters, go ahead and shorten it. The one at the top is the full URL, the one at the bottom is the shortened URL. And you can just see clearly the one at the bottom is bolder. It's going to be easier for someone to scan it. Now, there wouldn't be any problem scanning the top one either, but I'm just saying as far as getting an error or having somebody go to scan it and having it not work, the one at the bottom is going to work a lot more often. Oh, yeah. Also, and we'll cover this in later, there's an error correction in these codes. From what I understand, it's 30% error correction, which is a lot. So that's why there are people who are customizing their codes by putting little pictures and stuff in them, and I'll discuss that in a while. But you can have something be clumsy or blurry or whatever, and from what I understand, up to 30% error, and it will still scan without any trouble. So I think photocopying, you're not going to lose 30%. I think photocopying, what, like 7, 8%, and that's not a big deal. So you shouldn't have to worry about the code being unreadable. All right, so now we're going to have a quiz. Since you guys know everything by now, we'll look at, is that a code or not a code? Not a code? Because a code can look like anything. Not a code? Okay. Not a code. How about this one? Code or not a code? Not a code? Not a code. It was a nose. It wasn't a code. Maybe the nose has a code, but it's not a code. All right, what's the next one? Where am I? I'm already violating copyright stuff in life. Code or no code? That is not a code. Code? No code. Code, okay. How about this one? Code or no code? Yes. That is actually a small part of a magazine cover where they generated a code out of balloons. And so that's a code. Oh, tweet break. Wow. And it came at just the exact right time. Do I have music? That, again, was a good idea at the time. All right, uses for these things. This is a website from Mashable. They said, these are reasons why people might want to use the codes. And this person has a fake QR code tattoo. So different reasons, branding, geo-based reviews and tours. Now that one, number 2, someone's probably going to raise their hand and go, oh, isn't NFC chips going to replace it? Yeah, they probably will. So respect number 2. And green ticketing, geek fashion, and secrets and extra defiance. Those are top reasons why people want to use QR codes. And trust me, when I put this slide in, I really knew what it was about. No, it doesn't matter. All right, so here's what libraries are doing. Here's an actual library QR code. They put it in their stacks, and it links to online subject guides. So if someone came in, they scanned that code, they would get content. They would get something related to exactly what they were looking for. Other things libraries are doing is they're linking to their online versions of their magazines. So if they have an electronic product, that's what they're linking. This one says, Journal of Marital and Family Therapy online app. And scan code, it's the online product. This book links to a video, I think, interview or discussion with the author. And there are libraries, of course, putting QR codes on DVD cases. You scan to get a trailer. I mean, all different things that they're already using. One of your QR codes on your handout, if you scan it, will take you to a page that shows different libraries, and you can link to all of, and it'll link to the things that they're doing. Yeah, isn't that goofy? Who came up with that handout with just QR codes on it? That's pointless. Oh, that was my idea. Wow, I'm glad you like it. Look at that, I just did a 180. So here's another library system that has the QR code. They put them on a bus, and they had a special version. I think they had a special collection of their Overdrive collection that actually was being sent to the bus. And if they scanned the code, they got to read a book while they were riding along on the bus. That's pretty cool. They had like 500 titles to choose from that was available while they're on their little metro ride. Here's a QR code in someone's library card. And this is from Denmark. Oh, read what it says. So if you have something like a text librarian service that attracts mobile users, so you would probably use a code for that. You can link, like we said, to databases with mobile access and research guides that have mobile access. And books, what are authors doing? Well, authors can put codes in books if they want to update content, or say, scan here to get the latest graph, or whatever. I guess fiction would be interesting, right? They could update on characters if they wanted to. Has anybody seen that? That would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? If an author was actually continuing something on, like writing backstories for their characters and putting them online and have a little QR code in the book. No, not interesting? All right. You can also add to nonfiction to just update, but from what I've seen so far, since you guys haven't raised your hands, I haven't seen any codes in a book. I see codes that are just on the covers of books, and they pretty much say, scan this to go to our Facebook page. That's all I've seen so far. And here's the 2010 edition of this book. No QR code, 2011, QR codes. All right, so here's the point where we should be now. We know what QR codes are, we know what they do, and here's the rules that I think are most important for when to use them. There are 10 commandments. I think there is a scan on your scannable thingy that will take you to that. And of the 10, these are my favorite 3. Thou shalt assist thy consumer in the use of 2D codes. Number 2, thou shalt drive consumers through a web page designed specifically for a smartphone. And 3, thou shalt add value for that consumer. So those are my 3 favorites, and we'll discuss them. So thou shalt assist. Since we're not sure if our users even know what the code is yet, if you are going to post one, try to explain what it is, at least for now. Put a little message that says, get a reader, scan the code, and this will take you to what or where. Here's a whole page from American Libraries magazine explaining, why you want the code and what you'll get if you scan it. Here's a code from the Sun Sentinel. Sun Sentinel is Fort Lauderdale paper, and they have been using codes a lot in the paper for, I don't know, maybe since last year, maybe last year I've seen them codes. Here's one, you scan it and it tells you exactly where it's going to lead you. Although right now it says at least an empty photo gallery. Also remember, codes also are, they will expire. I had a whole bunch of samples from Best Buy. I've been saving all these ads from Best Buy because Best Buy, again, was good at putting codes in their ads. And they all expired. Everything I was scanning, all expired. So, you know, we're librarians, our codes are not going to expire. But businesses, they do all the time. These are all time specific to businesses. Which is weird because I couldn't imagine there'd be that many codes. You could generate billions and billions of codes. I mean, just continually, because I've generated just doing this, you know, a couple hundred codes just myself. But they're still able to be made. It's not like phone numbers where you run out. I would think that somehow there would be only so many places you could put those black squares. But apparently not. You can just keep putting them and putting them and putting them. And if you are going to send a mobile user to something, try to direct them to a site that's designed for mobile users. So plan for your audience. Your audience wants to get the content in the device. The same thing as, you know, you put the Spanish language books in the Spanish language section. You don't just dump them on the floor. You put things where they belong. And if we are going to link to something for a mobile user, try to make it so that it fits. And these are libraries that have their little mobile pages already. Also add value. Just because something can be linked, should it be linked? Well, that's not a question that we're going to answer. To link or not to link is up to you. And always test the link. Like I said, that website, testiphone.com, that's a place where you can actually just input the URL and see how it looks on a phone. Or if you have somebody who knows what they're doing, an actual tech person, they know how to test these things. So, add value. If there is an option to link to a mobile version of a site, do that. Some sites will automatically detect a mobile user and will redirect them automatically, but you should know that ahead of time. So in this case, YouTube has an m.youtube.com, but YouTube also redirects. At least most of the time it does. So the next slide coming up is important. Okay, I'm really excited about the next slide. Get your pens ready. You ready? Okay, this is slowed down. All right, so this is what that